Welcome back. Now, when it comes to my next story that I have here, this is actually going to be something related to me, actually. As you guys may know, I am not just a YouTuber and a podcaster. I am also an actor with experience with on-camera acting, as you may have seen in CBS Ghosts, as well as voice acting as well, since I've done numerous of voiceover jobs for commercials, for video games, and even for animation as well. However, there was one voice acting job I did a few years back, and since then, I never heard from it. But it wasn't until very recently, during the weekend, in fact, when one fan signaled to me about this project, basically asking, "Hey, Matt, I saw this trailer for this movie, and I noticed that in the credits, when listed in a few places, they say that it had your name on it, and your voice is also included, and it sounds very familiar to you. Is it true that you're involved in this?" So I took a listen, and I said that yes, it is. But I was honestly rather shocked to see the trailer itself. Not that the project came back after years from actually doing that job in the first place, but what it's in store with this particular trailer. So to go and show you what I mean, allow me to present to you the trailer for an upcoming animated movie by the name of Lumivia, The 5 Magical Wishes.
No, 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 no! I will reinvigorate you, elevate you, miserably ignorant donkeys, via art and science. Oh, I miss my mum and dad. I miss my fat brother Donnie. You know, if I wished myself to be the handsomest, then perhaps Sandy would like me more.
Where and how did you get all this knowledge? Amazing! It's unbelievable!
Help! Fear not, for I am Bluey, savior of the weak!
A magical wand?
Keep calm and enjoy being saved by me! I'm coming!
All right, Bluey. We'll see who's the greatest donkey now.
I'll save you! I have to do something!
I didn't know my brother was that brilliant.
We must all live in harmony. Unite and cooperate so that peace prevails.
He's like a cat with 7 lives.
You will get a taste of your own medicine.
Why am I here?
Initiated thief! Where are you? You think we're on a game show? Breathe! I plead thee! Wake up! Is this the other world? Think, Bluey, think!
I'm afraid something happened to him.
I will definitely give him what he deserves.
No! I'm trying to persuade the voting members of the Academy to award me an Oscar for Best Innovative Character.
So yeah, what you just saw was the trailer for a movie called Lumivia, The 5 Magical Wishes. Now, I don't know when this is going to be released. I heard that, well, considering that the animation studio is in Bahrain, I believe that's the country. I could be mistaken, but it is going to be premiering, or it will be shown in the Middle East. And yes, what you have heard, like throughout a good chunk of it, or maybe almost all of it, that was indeed my voice. And I actually play the main character in the movie. I play the role of Bluey. No, not like the popular dog that you see on Disney Plus. No, I am Bluey the donkey, a blue donkey that is considered to be the greatest, most wonderful donkey out there. At least that's what I consider myself, though. Some people might not say it, but I know that they are thinking it. So yeah, I do play the donkey, but one thing that, for those of you who are watching, you may have noticed, however, that the animation is just straight up AI. That everything about it is AI, and at first, when I saw it, I was in a bit of disbelief. It was like, I was thinking to myself, this can't be AI. Like, my voice is not being used for an AI project, is it? But the more you do look at it, the more that, yeah, it's inevitable. Like, there are plenty of examples that I could go and show you on how this is AI. Like, one example is actually like, yeah, right over here. Like, you got the one moment where Bluey is just relaxing and you see that he has his hat on the side. Like, he's holding his hat and then suddenly he switches around and whoop, suddenly you see that? He just got a new hat. Like, he's got his old hat here, but now, like, hold on, I'll show you again. Like, just a little switcheroo, like he slides down. Whoop, there he is, new hat. Where the fridge did he get the other hat? I have no idea. Apparently that's where his hat comes from. He literally pops it out of his head. And then there's also another time where you see you see in the next scene where Bluey is riding off in a car with his bride. You know, like they're just riding off, they're happily together. However, the woman in question, she constantly transforms. Like, it doesn't know what it wants to do. Like, they know that she has pink skin and blonde hair. And yet you see how she keeps transforming. Like, she's a bit of a person. She's got one donkey ear. And then like another, and then you get this other shot. Well, okay, she's kind of a donkey. You know, like, there's just so many different shots where she would just keep on transforming. Like even AI doesn't know how to portray my own freaking love interest. Oh my God, that's another example of the story of my freaking life. Oh boy. And then there's also another scene right over here. Okay, so like, we also got this moment where Bluey tries to save a little boy and then he falls down the river. So then when Bluey goes in to try to save the kid, he suddenly grows hands. Where the fridge does he get hands? And that's another thing that throughout the trailer you see, it just like keeps switching from hands to hooves. Like, okay, he's swimming, he has hands, and then suddenly, okay, we go in, there he is, Bluey is back, he has hooves again, and then suddenly, okay, grab my hand that I suddenly have now. He suddenly has hands to go and grab the kid in order to go and save. And this is not even to mention, like, look at all the different bubble effects it's trying to do. Like, it comes out as strings. And then over here, like, this, I gotta say, is absolutely gross because it's supposed to be water dripping from Bluey, but it looks like mucus. The way that all of it just stays there, you know? Like, all of it just sticks to Bluey. It looks gross, honestly. But yeah, this is all to go and highlight that, yes, the trailer that we saw here was indeed AI. Now, it seems like quite a shock that my voice or my voice acting would even be involved with an AI project. And I want to go and tell you right now that when I signed on to this project and when I went to go and work on this 5 Wishes movie, I didn't know that it was ultimately going to turn out into an AI film. In fact, I can guarantee you that nobody, not even the team behind it, knew that this was going to be AI. And that is mainly because of the fact that I recorded this in the spring of 2022. Like, do keep in mind that during that era, this was back when Turning Red was the latest animated feature that everybody was talking about, and it was also around the same time when Gilbert Gottfried passed away. I bring this up mainly because this was the era just before the modern AI trend became a thing. This was way before all the data centers would suddenly pop up in several different regions and taking away so much of our resources. This was way before so many of the main websites that would go and force AI integration because they spent billions of dollars upon it and they're not sure on what they could do with it in a way that people would be satisfied with. And this is also even way before the time of any of those modern AI tools would actually be used. Like, this was before stuff like Grok, or I would even say even before Elon Musk bought Twitter. And this is also even before ChatGPT really was a thing. And I actually do have a receipt to go and prove that this was done in the spring of 2022. Now, I first addressed this on a thread on Blue Sky. And one of the things that I brought up is actually the email in which I was hired to go and work on this project. Like, this was in a time when it was actually called Bluey and the Five Wishes. And I want to go and highlight, like, if you cannot see it clearly here, you could go to my Blue Sky and you could go and check it out there to see a closer look at it. But this is to confirm that this is the email that hired me, and it was actually made on March 23rd, 2022, saying if I could be available on Friday, March 25th, and on Monday, March 28th. And yes, this is French, but do keep in mind, again, I'm from Montreal, Canada, so a lot of the studios are going to primarily be in French. So from there, this is just to go and prove to you that, yes, this was done back in 2022, and this was way before the time that AI was considered a real concern, let alone the fact that this is way before the fact that the concept of using AI in order to produce animation, that was not a thing. Like, that wasn't even considered like a real problem when I was doing this. So at that point, nobody knew that the movie would ultimately turn out into something like that. And also, I can even prove that beforehand, the animation studio was not into working with AI or anything like that. Because, believe it or not, this is not the first time that I actually worked with this animation studio, and this is not even the first time that I actually voiced Bluey, because that Five Magical Wishes movie, that was actually a spin-off feature. It's a spin-off film to a movie that they have made before called Treasure Fellowship, and you'll see that movie's animation and that how it looks and everything like that, way different than how Lumivia came out. So let's just have a look. It's just a 90-second trailer, but you'll see the difference.
I won't live long. This is a map of the long-forgotten treasure. You go find it.
Don't be afraid!
What a shot! It's the best in the West. I've got a tempting offer you couldn't even dream of. We're looking for treasure!
Treasure?
Yes, a treasure that will change your life.
What were you two doing out there?
Someone took them out.
What are we going to do?
We need to catch that scoundrel.
You won't find him alone.
Let's go.
Give me the treasure. Betray me, and I'll kill all of you.
I have to do something.
Where are you going?
No one can survive that.
We're almost there. I've seen it on the map. Look.
There's some strange drawings about the treasure.
What have you done?
So that is a movie called Treasure Fellowship. And I'll just say right now, yes, this looks horrible. The animation is absolute crap.
And I must say, just speaking as Bluey here, I know it doesn't look like a cinematic masterpiece, but we actors need to have our start somewhere. I need to go and make my debut in some place, and if it is Treasure Fellowship, then so be it. It will help me go more uphill from here. Or, well, maybe not, considering that I did end up in AI slop, but after that AI slop, I can only go up from here.
But yeah, basically the animation is terrible, I agree. But at the very least, you could tell that it is animation made by animators. It's animation that people try to create. At the very least, it's not actual AI slop like we have just seen. And that is why when I first saw that particular trailer, when I saw the 5 Magical Wishes trailer, honestly, my first reaction and realizing that, oh, this is an AI generated animated movie, honestly, I had panic. I honestly freaked out because I was thinking that this could actually be something that could unironically have me canceled. Like I could end up becoming like the next Jorge Gutierrez because of that. And I was honestly very worried if there was going to be some kind of drama hound that would suddenly go and pick this up and they would try to frame it as if I'm in serious trouble because of this. And they would say something like, AniMat's sold out to AI with this movie? What the heck? You know, like that kind of nonsense. So that's why I wanted to go and immediately address this. That's why I went and did this thread on Blue Sky to go and address everything and to go and address all of my thoughts on this entire matter. So that's why I took some action to go and immediately just let it all out, to be transparent, to be clear with everything, and especially to be clear with my stance on AI. And as you may know, I am completely against the use of AI to go and replace anybody in their jobs in order to go and produce entertainment. I'm against using AI as a replacement for animators, and I'm against AI replacing voice actors, and I'm against AI replacing anybody in order to go and perform that, like those respective jobs and stuff like that. So I just want to go and clarify that. And not to mention, yes, I honestly do feel ashamed that sadly my voice is a part of AI slop. Like that is something that I was hoping that I could go and avoid. And I mean, keep in mind that yes, I have been offered a bunch of AI related jobs, and I was literally offered thousands of dollars in order to go and do those AI jobs, but I stood by my principles and I reject them all. And it's unfortunate to see that this actually occurred, even though this was all without my knowledge. This was all without any of my understanding that this would go and occur. And unfortunately, it sucks, sadly. It kind of feels like with my voice acting career, it kind of took like a bit of a bump in the road, and suddenly now I'm a part of an AI project, which for me is very unfortunate. And it's just something that, you know, it's sad to see how I've been involved with something that is completely against my principles. And I just want to say from here, after I made that response on Blue Sky, I just want to go and give out a major thanks to all the love and support that I have gotten. I don't think there was a single comment that I've received that was negative or saying that it was my fault or anything like that. All of you have been very supportive, expressing a lot of sympathy. And I just want to say, I really want to thank you all for that moment. Because honestly, like, it was not easy to go and like admit that my voice was used in an AI project without me knowing. It wasn't easy to go and confess, but honestly, with the support that people have expressed, I just want to go and say thank you, everyone. But with that said, like, after I let that sink in, there was then a fear. Like, there was something that honestly, it really freaked me out when I realized that, no, I'm not in trouble because of any of this. In fact, the reality is that I'm actually a victim of the cautionary tales that I have been expressing. Like, honestly, like, those stories that I would keep warning about in terms of of actors suddenly being involved with AI or being forced to be involved with AI without their knowledge or without their consent or anything like that. I mean, it was just recently that I talked about the story with Peppa Pig and how the kids were forced by Hasbro to try to sign a contract that would say that they want their voices to be used in AI and stuff like that. And I realized that, holy crap, this is something that happened to me. Because when I went to go and record this 5 Wishes movie, I never thought, in fact, nobody ever thought that this would ultimately turn out to be an AI-generated animated film. But then suddenly, when that film was released, suddenly, oh my God, here is the big twist where now, yes, it is AI-generated, and my voice is heard loud and clear throughout the whole thing. So in that regards, I've now accepted that I did nothing wrong. I just wanted to go and have a good time, to go and, play this egotistical donkey. And as a result, it ended up being fueled with AI. And I'm sure, like, as I stated before, it was a decision made long after my personal involvement with this project. So, yeah, I mean, I'm rather shocked that, yeah, I am a victim of being part of AI without my knowledge or without my consent. And there's nothing that I could really do. But, there's nothing that I could do about it from here. I mean, ultimately, what I signed on to, it was a full buyout. So basically, the studio has the right to literally do whatever they want with the project in particular. I do not get a single say on it. But still, though, like, it is shocking and even a bit frustrating to know that suddenly, like, they would go and do whatever they want and do something with my voice that I am completely against. So I just thought I wanted to go and fully share my story about this entire thing. And I'm going to go and say right now, do I regret now being part of that project? Do I regret working on this 5 Wishes movie? Do I regret playing Bluey the Blue Donkey? And I'm just going to say, honestly, no, I'm not. Because during the time when I was recording for this movie, honestly, I didn't think much of it. And I mean, of course, like I said before, this was way before the time when the concept of using AI in order to create animation even existed. Honestly, I had a fun time playing as Bluey. Like, rather it be with Treasure Fellowship or with this 5 Wishes movie, I had a lot of fun. And I mean, it was great always being wanted a few times where I would go to the studio and actually record for an animated movie that I would potentially star. It was a great time. I have no regrets playing as Bluey, and I think Bluey is a fun character. It's just the circumstances that ultimately came out. It sucks. I think ultimately the best thing that I could do is just, I want to at least have this movie so that I can have some materials for my future demos, because I can imagine, like, I'm sure there are some bangers that I've done with Bluey in terms of my voiceover work that I can also include in my demos to showcase an example of my vocal performance and the kind of work that I've already done. Even if it is freaking AI, at least I know that my voice is not AI. So that's honestly the best thing that I could do with this project. All right, so with that said, we're going to go and take a break, but when we do come back, I'll go and ask you all about your thoughts on the whole thing. So you could save your comments. You can have a moment to go and think about in terms of what you want to go and say, but we're going to go and take a break so that we can refresh the timer on the ads so that when we do return, you'll have all the time to go and write down your comments and that I can go and read them. So stay tuned for that. Welcome back. Now let's go and see what comments you guys have to say here. All right, so I am truly sorry for this blatant stealing of your voice, Matt. Well, at least Ursula didn't do it. This trailer is beyond bad. Like, it makes Food Fight look like Titanic. Speaking of AI misuse, I once flagged an AI video that stole the voice of Brian Tyler Cohen to his legal team, and they took out the egregious video in a matter of days. Also, about Lost Weird Media, I recently discovered the last Chuck Jones project, Timberwolf, done on Adobe Flash. Ever heard of that one? Well, I mean, it's a little bit of a side note right there, but yes, I did hear of Timberwolf. I think I even remember, like, back in the day, I might have actually seen it before. Like, I remember watching it, like, back when it was probably still fresh, or at least back in the days when before YouTube and like people were relying on websites like eBaum's World or Albino Black Sheep and stuff like that for their videos. So yeah, I do remember seeing that. Let's see. I'm so sorry to hear that, Matt. None of this is your fault whatsoever on this. I do think in the future, it's best to stay away from this studio from now on, and hopefully you will find better gigs soon. AI has no place in the entertainment industry. Everything I made from my YouTube channel is 100% AI free, and show my love and support for the amazing folks in the animation industry, including voice actors. Yeah, I'm also shocked this happened to you, and I hope that AI bubble will be popped up very soon. Hey, thank you so much, man. Let's see. Oh man, I am so sorry. This is so weird. Did you have an NDA? What was the context for most of these lines? Because most of it doesn't make sense. Also, it sounds more like a parody heroic voice rather than a legit main character of a feature. Matt, you have a great funny voice, but I feel like you weren't given any direction. Like, you were doing comedy, but it sounds like you were supposed to take your character seriously. I'm sorry for all this. Okay, well, to just go and give you some context about Bluey, keep in mind that the AI feature is a spin-off to an already established movie. And in the original film, Bluey is just this comedic sidekick. You know, he's more of a comic relief who is a lot more vanity than he is intelligent. He's got more ego than brains. Like, I remember in the original Treasure Fellowship movie, like, one of the lines or one of the bits that I've done is just, "Oh, you silly boy, let me go and show you what 1 + 1 means. It's actually 11. You take the two ones and you put it together, thus making it 11. I'm sure that it doesn't make sense for you, but for a genius like me, I know about mathematics, and this right here is pure mathematics of how 1 + 1 is 11. It's basically that type of character. And then I guess later on, they decided that they loved playing with Bluey so much in that movie that they wanted to make a whole feature based on that. I mean, like, I can't really explain the logic about the voice and stuff like that. All I know is that I did it and I got hired for it. So that's the best of my ability to go and answer about who Bluey is as a character. Okay, let's see. I have nothing much to say here except This is scummy. Like jumping Jesus on a breadstick. This is absolutely terrible. Not just the trailer, but also the way they treated you. Honestly, my best advice is to just lawyer up. This mess was beyond messed up, and you need retribution. In short, to go full Patrick Warburton,
I prefer animated movies, big name or indie, made by a man. I know it's hit and miss. I like it.
Nah, but for real though, I know that some people are saying that maybe I should lawyer up, I should find an attorney and stuff like that. Maybe I should go and sue, but to be very honest, guys, there's nothing that I can literally do. Like I said before, this was a full buyout job. And when you sign on to something that is a full buyout, that pretty much means that whatever you go and do, it ultimately will go and belong to the company. They will ultimately own the entire rights to that particular work that you have done. So all the recordings that I have done playing as Bluey the donkey, it all belongs to the studio, and under the contract that we have signed, they have every right to go and use it. So in a way, it's a little bit of a cautionary tale of what happens if you would go and sign on to something that is a full buyout, because ultimately the company would then go and do whatever they want with it, such as the case right over here where I did my voiceover work, and then several years later, they decided, you know what? Let's go and use AI for the animation. We already got the voiceover work, so let's just place it right here and see what happens. So that's ultimately what has happened. Just to go and give you context about how things work in terms of the business side when it comes to acting. And unfortunately, this is something that is very common with voice acting. Like if you're not part of the union, you will see the words full buyout that is prominently displayed in your contracts and stuff like that. I'll even go and say that, yeah, sure, full buyout jobs do sound appealing because they offer you some pretty big pay, but often it could come with a catch. In a way, it's almost like a devil's contract when you do sign a full buyout deal. All right, let's see what other comments do we have here. First and foremost, I condemn the makers of this project for resorting to AI in bringing this project to life, and they should have made that the 3D computer feature animation entirely by themselves. But I am curious from a recording standpoint, as a voice actor, is it me or did you borrow the dialect for Bluey from Archibald Asparagus from VeggieTales? If that's not the case, how did you approach the voice of a Bluey? That is a very good question. And I mean, again, the last time I've done it was like over 4 years ago. And I mean, I guess what they wanted was an over-the-top British voice, I guess. I mean, the description that they put up, it's nothing like major. Like, I think that's really what it is. Like a cartoony British voice of a donkey that is very narcissistic, but not that intelligent. And that's what ultimately came up. I don't think there was any characters that I was actually inspired by. I just went with the flow and just decided, oh, you know what? If that's the description of what they want for Bluey, then I shall go and actually provide this voice. Let's see what happens. Oh, good. I actually got hired. Now I can go to the studio and use my tremendous voice and beautiful talent in order to go and produce this movie, or to go and help with the production of this feature. It's just too bad that it came out as AI slop. So, yes, that is not very pleasant to go and experience and discover. But again, there's only one direction that I can go from here, and that is up, because you can't go anywhere lower than AI. All right. Oh, boy. See, this is why I said that I don't really regret doing it, because Bluey is a fun voice to go and do. Let's see now. Any other comments? Wow, this just sucks so bad. This is the kind of thing that aspiring voice actors like me just dread to happen. After seeing that trailer, everyone should owe Disney movies released after the AI plague began, like Wish and Hex, a huge apology. It also sucks because I already really like your voice, your over-the-top upper-class British voice for "We have Donkey from Shrek at home." Yeah, I mean, if there's any retribution, maybe one day I could go and reuse this voice for another voiceover project. I mean, if you're looking for that kind of voice, I know how to go and do it. I've had experience in doing so. So from there, I don't know, hopefully there can be a retribution for the Bluey the Donkey voice. Let's see now. I think I'll read a few more comments and then we're going to go on our next official break. What even is this trailer? I mean, I know you didn't know this until now. I can't believe you got involved with a project that has AI in it. I mean, it's literal AI, and not to mention, I feel like this trailer is so messed up. Probably the strangest thing about the trailer is how the donkey somehow switches between hooves and hands during the underwater scene. The only thing I did enjoy from this AI trailer is your Bluey voice, and I'm glad that you brought this up before things get crazy. Exactly, man. That's why, like, with how the internet is, and especially with how social media and not to mention the cartoon community can be so drama hungry, I might as well go and address this right now before any drama can officially happen that would go and put me into trouble. All right, let's go and read one more comment here. Let's see. I would say you of all people don't deserve to go through all that, but don't be so hard on yourself on it. In fact, I just kind of blame myself for actually finding it. Well, mainly the movie. I'm not sure the spin-off. I know I wasn't involved with it, but I think it'll be better not to upset people about it. I really am sorry you had to learn about this, really. I know what you're talking about, by the way. Don't feel bad about yourself, because honestly, that discovery for the Treasure Fellowship, honestly, that was a great one. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna go and say right now, this is going to be for like a future project, but I am thinking about doing an AniMat watches of Treasure Fellowship. I think that would be a very fun one to go and do. But I will say that, yeah, honestly, it's just a very unfortunate situation for everyone. And again, I want to say thank you all for the support that you've been showing in all this. Again, it's not easy to go and confess, especially as a voice actor. And I will go and promise you all that this mistake, and I really do hope so, but hopefully this mistake will not happen again in terms of my part. I know that with smaller actors like myself, it's easy to go and fall into that kind of trap where we would record on a project and, you know, suddenly it turns out, oh, it's AI. And I have heard I'm not the only one that has happened, you know? Like, I know I'm not the only voice actor out there who would sign on to a voiceover project and then they would later discover that it's actually AI generated. So in that regards, like, I know it is an issue, but, you know, I can only go up from there. And I will promise to you all that intentionally, this will not happen again, and I will still stand against AI. Now, with that said, we're going to go on to our next break, and when we do come back, we're going to go and lighten up the mood about a newly announced project that's still very early in the works, and at first, it might sound like a bad idea that's an immediate turnoff, but when you think about it, maybe it could have potential. So stay tuned for that.